Welcome to Autism Tips and Tools, where we highlight the best practical guidance from previous episodes of Autism Knows No Borders. Whether you're a self-advocate, a family member, or a service provider, there's something here for you. I'm Rachel Harmon, a professional in the field of autism services, outreach, and advocacy, and the following clip is from my conversation with Gwen Palafox. Gwen is a licensed psychologist with a focus on helping teens and young adults find their most fulfilled and joyful lives. She has been supporting disabled and neurodivergent individuals for over 2 decades and hosts the podcast Dr. Gwen Empowered. Here's Gwen talking about how autistic individuals can find a sense of belonging and cultivate a meaningful life across employment and relationships.
Because I think autism's hidden, you don't see it in a person right away, it really then becomes, sadly, the burden of the person who has the disability to advocate for themselves. And this is where, for me, surrounding yourself, choosing the people that surround you, and setting up your environment in a way that's friendly and comforting and safe for you is then even more critical. Because you are the one that has to direct those accommodations or that support system. I would say choose the right people. And it doesn't have to be a lot. If it's just one, that one person who gets you, accepts you, believes you, right, is going to be more than the 6 people coming in and out of your life that kind of get it or don't. I don't know, right? That you have to then work to be with. So I'd say choose your people. And I would say be unabashed about how you set up your physical environment. Just do it. Do whatever it takes. My client didn't realize that he could just go to part of the party.
Yeah.
And then he's given permission to go to part of a party. We've even gotten it down for him to where it's like, how much energy do you have? So I don't do time management. I do effort and energy management. Time management is not actually something that makes a lot of sense for my clients because we're always managing energy. And so for that particular client, it was like, how much energy do you have and how much will you have to spend to be there? Okay, about how much time is that for you? And in the beginning, he doesn't really know, right? Because we've never done this before. And so now we do an experiment. Okay, the party's from 6 to 9. Can you leave at 7:30 or can you leave, And then let's test it again. Let's come back and let's kind of get that calibration for you. So now he just knows, like, this is what I got in the tank. This is how long I can stay. Or I really want to stay for the whole time. So this is what I have to do 3 days in advance in order to fill my tank to that space so I can do that. And then I can wake up the next morning without feeling like I've been hit by a truck.
Yeah, right.
So just be so unapologetic about your environment. And I think most of all, it's like, please, 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 find your people. Find your people, because a sense of belonging is a critical need for humans. Too often we feel too isolated, especially when we don't feel like we belong in a place.
Yeah.
Or we feel like, why is this harder for me? Or, wow, everyone's looking at me. Be choosy and protect yourself. You're worth it. Protect yourself. It's okay. It's okay that you're not going to be the social butterfly in the room.
Yeah. So what would you say are other criteria for a meaningful life? So we talked about sense of belonging.
That you're not always burned out, right? You've got good energy management. That you're doing something that's you feel is fulfilling and purposeful. That the way that you're spending, the way you're occupying your time every day is meaningful to you. That I think is so important. I mean, occupying time is an important concept, but if it's just full of checking off boxes or something that's really unfulfilling, I think that really zaps and sucks meaning out of people's life.
Right. What about for autistic people who might struggle to look for employment specifically that they find fulfilling?
Yeah. And we know that that's a national problem. We know that under and unemployment in the United States for neurodivergent individuals is about 85%.
Yeah.
Those are the stats, right? What I would suggest here is, what do you love? Like, what could you talk about and do all day long? And when you're in it, you're energized by it. It's not like draining. It's like, oh, yeah, I could talk about why the 10th doctor is the best doctor, because I could. But, what thrills you? What is so satisfying? What comes so easily for you? And then how do we touch a career to that? And so often what I find with my clients is they haven't found the space in which their strengths are celebrated and their weaknesses don't matter. That's the key. And there are a few people out there and agencies out there that are trying to help autistics with this, but it's so few and far between. But I would say start with your interest first, and then do so much research about any way, shape, or form you could make a living based on that interest. So that's one thing I would say. And the other is like, how do you work the best? Many of my clients aren't good for the 8 to 5 or the 9 to 5 job, to go somewhere to be with other people from 9 to 5, work in a cubicle. Like, that's not sustainable for many of my clients. But what works for them are project-based jobs, where they have a job, they start it, they finish it, they've got a time frame for that, but they can do that in the comfort of their home and their environment's managed. That's maybe an upside of coming out of COVID, in the sense that, we have more work at home acceptance than we ever have.
Right.
But lean into your interests, work with your preferences and your strengths. If you can align those things, that's a good recipe for success there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's easy, and maybe you need help, but yeah, don't feel like you have to follow the traditional path of a 9 to 5. Is what I would say.
Mm-hmm. Do you have some clients who, one of their goals to a meaningful life is to be in a relationship also, like a romantic relationship? And how do you help them with that?
It is more common that my clients want a relationship and companionship. And I know that flies in the face of the stereotypes of autism out there in the movies and things. Like, wow, they feel and they want relationships. It's incredible.
It's changing though with Love on the Spectrum, I think there's more awareness now. So
do we all want more Judy? Isn't that her name? Jody. I want more Jody. She's the relationship person.
Oh. Yeah. The therapist.
Not in the US one, but I just want more Jody. I want you to draw out my life, Jody. Please come over. But yes, going back to how to help people have relationships. It's like, okay, not only do you need to know yourself, right? So all the way back to what we talked about, which is, how do we develop a lexicon for who you are, how you work, what moves you, what you detest and you hate, these things. But there also then, when you enter a relationship, is how do you tolerate not being able to control everything?
Mm.
And I understand that, that's a compensation for not feeling like you can control anything in relationships. But I think that interactive, dynamic, ever-changing product of being in a relationship is what tosses my clients into a loop. Because it's like, no, she liked this, but she changed her mind.
Yeah.
It's not anymore, right? But it's all these exponents. It's like multiplicative, because it's like, you change, she changes, different product. You change, she doesn't, different product. She changed, right? So it's like, how am I okay with aligning on our values? The things, the way we might want to treat people, the things that are important to us. How do we align on those? And then how do we just navigate this, the little changing stuff? So I think when you can give bigger frameworks, rules, if you will, to follow like that aren't so rigid and restricted, that can be really helpful. There's amazing neurodivergent relationship coaches out there who are absolutely lovely. Grace Myhill comes to my mind. She was on my show, and all the ways in which she helped couples communicate and understand each other were like awesome. I mean, I was just like, tell me more, talk dirty to me. I want to know all of the ways, you know? But there are people out there now. I mean, it's growing, you know, even online communities just for the neurodiverse community are growing. And I love that. I love seeing that. But relationships are hard, Rachel, anyway. Like,
Yeah,
you know, in general, they're hard.
exactly.
So,
But that's
yeah.
helpful, I think, for anyone who's listening. Thanks for tuning in to Autism Knows No Borders. Would you like to hear Gwen talk about how neurotypicals can interact with autistic people from a trauma-informed perspective? Follow the link in the show notes for the full conversation. Let's work together to transform how the world relates to autism. Thanks for listening. Take care.